In the sport of boxing, we have witnessed numerous great eras and groups of boxers, ranging from the Four Kings era of Hagler, Hearns, Duran and Leonard to the golden age of heavyweights featuring Ali, Foreman and Frazier. However, there is a group of boxers who engage in bloody and brutal contests, yet their names have been somewhat forgotten over the ages. Today, I call upon fight fans to recognize their significant contributions to the sport of boxing. These four fighters, aptly named the Ferocious Four, a term coined by Kyle McLellan of The Fight Site. The fight from this group of featherweights were the pinnacle of brutality. The fighters that I hold to such high acclaim are Bobby Schoolboy Chacon, Cornelius Boza Edwards, Rafael Limón, and Rolando Bad Boy from Dengas Navarrete. This documentary will first provide a brief backstory for the four, and then shift to a chronological timeline for all the boxers. I'll break down the points in their careers, show their personal struggles, and highlight their brutal confrontations. Due to the limited availability of their earlier fights, I'll be integrating footage from other noteworthy bouts featuring other accomplished fighters. This edition will not only provide visual context, but also enhance the overall viewing experience, offering you guys a compelling and engaging content. So sit back, grab some snacks as we delve into the world of the Ferocious Four of boxing. Bobby Schoolboy Chacon was born in Silmar, California on November 28, 1951. He was a troubled child, often engaging in street fights, drug use, and had frequent encounters with the police. Recognizing the need for a positive outlet in his life, Chacon decided to channel these energies into boxing. During the start of his amateur career, an investigation was initiated regarding Chacon's use of narcotics. This temporarily denied him access to his amateur license. However, once the investigation concluded, his natural fighting abilities became evident. Chacon went on to win diamond belts in 1971 and 1972, also securing spots in the National Golden Gloves competition during both years. While attending California State University, Chacon made a decision to debut as a professional. At the age of 19, earning the nickname Schoolboy from publicist Bill Kaplan. The moniker stemmed from Chacon's active student life and youthful features. Rafael Limón was born in Tlaxcala, Mexico on January 13, 1954. He was one of four children with three brothers and one sister. His father served in the Mexican army, allowing him to leave base every weekend. Limón shared this about his father, saying he had a drinking problem. "My father used to beat my mother." The abuse continued for an extended period of time, prompting his mother to leave with him and his siblings to Mexico City, as he recounted on RingTV.com that, "When I was about 3 or 4 years old, my mother decided to leave him. She took my two brothers, sister and me to live in Mexico City." Limón would live a peaceful life within the city without any incidents. Limón later would share an encounter with his biological father when he was 15. "I remember when I was 15, I was walking on the street and a guy grabbed me and I threw a punch at him and ran to my house. A few minutes later, a man came to his house and to Limon's surprise, his mother revealed, 'He is your father.' This encounter shocked the young Limón, marking one of his first interactions with his father. A couple of years later, Limón decided to join the army on February 14, 1972, after putting the past incident behind him. During this time in the army, Limón witnessed some of his friends boxing and getting bloodied up in sparring. An on-duty major suggesting Limón tried, revealing his natural talent and monstrous power. Temporarily mentored by his coach for 3 months, Limón was directed to Kid Rapidas Gym, known for training great fighters like Jose Napoles and Sugar Ramos. Limón would have a brief amateur career lasting about 10 months and amassing a record of 41 wins and 5 losses. Unfortunately, one of his wins resulted in the death of one of his opponents. His major would acknowledge Limon's power, likening it to a bazooka that sought to destroy anything in his past. This led to the creation of his nickname, Rafael Limón, making his debut on December 5, 1972, at the age of 18. Cornelius Boza Edwards, born Cornelius Boza, was born on May 27, 1956, in Kampala, Uganda. Boza faced challenging circumstances growing up in a country under the rule of dictator Idi Amin. As the eldest of 5 siblings, he witnessed the turmoil and violence that characterized Uganda at the time. Reflecting on the conditions in Uganda, Boza Edwards mentioned, "The military were fighting over the ruling of the country, but as kids we didn't fully understand it. A lot of people were getting killed. When Idi Amin came along, there were tanks all over the town, shooting and killing people." Boza found solace and purpose boxing from a young age, engaging in Uganda's boxing program, where he trained alongside notable fighters such as Ayub Kalule and John Mugabe. Despite being the #1 boxer in his country, he remained uncertain about the extent of his potential. The prevailing atrocities in Uganda led his trainer, Jack Edwards, an Englishman who owned a tea plantation, to relocate to England in 1972. Boza accompanied Edwards, and during this time they formed a strong bond. Transitioning to England, Cornelius Boza represented the country during his amateur career, initially joining the New Enterprise Club in Tottenham before moving to the Fitzroy Lodge Club in South London. His journey to represent England at the 1976 Montreal Olympics faced a setback when he narrowly lost to Padwell Caldwell in the ABA Championships, which were used to determine the new Olympic representative. However, Boza received another opportunity to enter into the Olympics as his home country Uganda had a vacant featherweight position that he could fill. Tragically, on the evening after his weigh-ins for the Olympics, African countries collectively boycotted the games. This forced Boza to sit in the arena, resulting in his opponent winning by his disqualification. Despite the frustration, his amateur career was already marked by success, amassing a record of 82 wins and 2 losses. In a significant move, Boza decided to make his professional debut on December 13, 1976, at the age of 20. Alongside his manager Mikey Duffy and trainer George Francis, he opted to change his surname to Boza for easier pronunciation by fight fans. The addition of Edwards to his name was a gesture out of respect and gratitude towards his trainer, Jack Edwards. This marked the beginning of Cornelius Boza Edwards' journey as a professional boxer, where he would go on to achieve further success in his career. Rolando Navarrete was born on February 14, 1957, in General Santos, Philippines. He emerged from challenging circumstances in the slums of his homeland, growing up as one of 2 siblings with a brother who also pursued a career in boxing. Navarrete faced many hardships in his life. Known for his combative nature, Navarrete was frequently involved in fights and became a familiar figure in Dayangas, and named the nickname Bad Boy from Dayangas. This moniker reflected his often intense and aggressive behavior witnessed by locals in the area. Despite his small stature, Navarrete possessed remarkable power and recognized the potential to channel his strength into something more significant. With a determination to forge a path in professional boxing, he made his professional debut on February 2, 1973, just 3 days after celebrating his 16th birthday. This marked the beginning of Rolando Navarrete's journey in the boxing world, where he would go on to make a name for himself through his skills and tenacity inside the ring. Now that we've established our characters of the story, we must mark the start of the year 1972, where 2 members of the Ferocious 4 made their debuts, those being Bobby Schoolboy Chacon and Rafael Limón. Bobby Chacon made his professional debut as a featherweight on April 12, 1972, knocking out his opponent in 5 rounds. His style was as clear as day, putting everything on the line, utilizing all his stamina and will to dismantle his opposition. Chacon would often leave himself vulnerable to get hit just to land his looping shots, showing a disregard for his own safety. Despite his aggressive and reckless style, there were moments that he displayed his own boxing skills and defensive capabilities, although he seemed to prefer engaging in all-out brawls. In 1972, Chacon fought 15 times. At times, we would fight days apart. His main event debut against Juan Montoya ended with a knockout in the 8th round. Chacon's fan-friendly style endeared his male audience, and his appearance garnered a loyal female fan base. He concluded his year with a record of 15 wins, 14 coming by way of knockout. During the same year, his future longtime rival, Rafael Limón, made his professional debut on December 5, 1972, knocking out his opponent in the first round. Limón employed a typical Mexican boxing style, favoring the inside game and enduring damage to deliver a knockout. Limón focused on his opponent's body, wearing them down throughout the entire fight and applying relentless pressure. He ended the year with a 1 win achieved by a knockout. Meanwhile, Rolando Navarrete prepared to make his professional debut, and Boza Edwards had arrived in England to continue his boxing career. To begin the year of 1973, Rafael Limón faced Raul Juarez on February 3rd and went on to fight 6 more opponents throughout the year. He accumulated a record of 4 wins, all by knockout, and experienced 3 losses, 2 which were by knockout, ending the year with a record of 5 wins, 5 KOs, and 3 losses. During the same time frame, Bobby Chacon had a strong start to his 1973 campaign, debuting on a significant stage as part of the undercard for a world title bout between Jose Napoles and Ernie Lopez. His first challenge was against Jose Luis Martin del Campo, where he suffered his first career knockdown in the 2nd round. However, Chacon's resilience allowed him to dismantle Del Campo and secure a victory in the 3rd round, leaving a lasting impression on the viewers. Chacon continued his success with the 10-round unanimous decision win over Frankie Crawford, before facing his toughest test against former undisputed bantamweight champion Chucho Castillo. Chacon would come into this fight trying to pace himself and use boxing skills instead of his usual brawler-like style, but this couldn't work as Castillo made it a tough battle for him.
El estudiante, muchos dicen que es demasiado novato para la veteranía y el colmillo de Castillo. Ahí lo vemos, lo lleva de calzón negro, vivos rojos. Y ahí vemos a Chacon, quien... Final del 10º round. Ahí está Chacon, quien trata de hacerse al control rápidamente con su jab de izquierda. Fustiga muy bien allá a Castillo. Muy seguro, una derecha volada ahí que entró y dejó prácticamente paralizado a Castillo, quien se está derrumbando. Decíamos al principio de esta transmisión, primera vez que un servidor ve a Chucho Castillo en el enlonado. Nuevamente la pelea en progreso. Ahí vemos rápidamente a Chacon llevando hacia atrás a Chucho Castillo. Este se está doliendo.
Realizing he was going to be outgunned, Chacon fought back and secured a 10th round TKO victory, propelling him into a title fight for the vacant NABF title against also former undisputed bantamweight champion Ruben Olivares. During the build-up to the fight, many consider Chacon the favorite in this bout and saw the veteran Olivares as a washed-up version of himself. Olivares used his championship-level expertise and veteran experience to deal with Chacon's early aggression. Olivares' cornerman, Johnny Flores, recognized Chacon's lack of pacing and advised Olivares to wait him out, stating, "I don't think the kid has ever learned to pace himself. When Bobby came out full steam in the first, I knew it couldn't last, so I advised Ruben to just wait him out." Consequently, Olivares led Chacon to exhaust himself in the first 2 rounds before turning the tide.
Pero de Bobby Chacon, una brillante campaña por lo joven que es, solamente de los 73, hace casi 19 años. Ahí narró Chacon, la derecha estaba fuera de distancia, entró sin embargo una pelota a la izquierda. Estaban proyectando. Con izquierda, sobre todo el gancho sobre la cara. Qué buena combinación, qué mano derecha del Cuori, desde la izquierda demasiado baja. Ahí va con la derecha cruzamiento, Rock está marcando la pelea. Qué buena izquierda de Olivares, tiene derecha descendente. Dominio de Olivares por cuerpo. El árbitro prácticamente no ha intervenido. Ya, que simplemente el rey de la categoría de los medianos era Carlos Monzón. Ataca otra vez Olivares. Cuando recorremos el tramo final de esta nueva vuelta, la pelota marcada a 12. Ataca el Cuba con golpe de la mano, va a llegar la campana que va a marcar una tregua y el que la precisa realmente Chacon. Ahí va.
In the 9th round, Olivares dropped Chacon with the right hand, dominating the remainder of the round and prompting Chacon's corner to stop the fight. This marked Chacon's first professional loss and had halted Chacon's momentum, but he would bounce back with 2 fights against Jorge Ramos and a rematch with Martin Del Campo, both ending by knockouts. This setback to Olivares would end up becoming Chacon's motivation to strive for world title bouts, ending with a record of 22 wins, 19 coming by KO, and 1 loss. During this time period, the third member of the Ferocious Four appeared. Rolando, bad boy from Navarrete, made his debut, fighting 8 times and securing a record of 7 wins, 2 coming by knockout and 1 draw. In the year that followed, Rafael Limón increased his activity, participating in 11 bouts, achieving a record of 14 wins, 14 coming by way of knockout and 5 losses. Meanwhile, Bobby Chacon, still hunted by his defeat to Ruben Olivares, embarked on his journey towards a world title. He began by defeating Jorge Ramos and Genzo Kurosawa, finishing both opponents in the 5th round. Chacon then faced one of the top fighters in the division and future world champion Danny Little Red Lopez, who was on a 23-fight win streak with 22 victories by knockout. Undeterred by Lopez's formidable record, Chacon engaged in that battle where he showcased his usual looping shots and precise power punches.
Bobby Chacon hurts Lopez. He hits him but does not hurt him with the right hand. Jim Healy ringside before a packed Los Angeles Sports Arena. And that to the closed circuit gate into the auditorium, nearly $250,000.
Starting each round with peak aggression, Chacon eventually dropped Lopez in the 9th round, administering a beating that left Lopez stunned and receiving punishment on the ropes. The referee intervened, leading to a 9th round TKO victory for Chacon. This triumph boosted Chacon's morale, helping him overcome the stain left by the defeat to Olivares. With this victory, he earned an opportunity to face Alfredo Marcano for the vacant WBC featherweight title. Chacon displayed tremendous heart in this fight, refusing to be discouraged by his past experiences. The bout was eventually stopped in the 9th round, with Chacon delivering 2 destructive right hands to Marcano, prompting the referee to halt the fight. This victory crowned Chacon as a world champion, marking him the first among the Ferocious 4, ending his year with a record of 26 wins, 23 coming by KO and 1 loss. During the same period, Rolando Navarrete fought 4 times, securing a record of 9 wins, 1 loss and 2 draws. In 1975, Rolando Navarrete had his most successful year. He started his year off by defeating Rene Cruz Jr. by knockout in the 7th round. This gained him the opportunity to fight for the Philippines Games and Amusement Board Filipino Bantamweight title. He would face Conrado Vasquez for the title, winning a 12-round unanimous decision. He would go on to win 4 fights in a row by knockout. To end his year, he would be on the undercard of a historic fight, as he would defend his title against Fernando Campanella, where he would lose a 12-round unanimous decision. He was on the undercard of Muhammad Ali vs Joe Frazier. He would end the year with a record of 14 wins, 7 coming by knockout, 2 losses and 2 draws. This year would be historic for both Chacon and Limón, as the two would be fated to meet in their first clash. Chacon would start his year off by defending his title against Jesus Estrada, beating him within 2 rounds. He was at his peak of his career, and the win against Jesus gained him the ability to rematch Ruben Olivares. But for some unknown reason only known to Chacon, he would go out partying before the fight, gaining a lot of weight, realizing he was 16 pounds over the featherweight limit. He was desperate to shed weight, even using eucalyptus leaves to open pores to sweat more. Once the weigh-in occurred, he weighed at 124.5 pounds. Even though making the featherweight limit, he was extremely drained and tired from the weight cut. The resulting fight against Olivares would be more one-sided than the first, where he would get dropped twice in the 2nd round and where he was pinned against the ropes and beaten to submission.
Mr. Knockout tratando de realizar la hazaña de convertir la pelea que llevaba ganada a Rubén Olivares de Cabo.
Enigma.
The referee would end the fight in the second round, handing Chacon his second professional loss. Chacon had been embarrassed in front of his people and himself. Chacon had not only lost to the same man twice, but had now lost his title, so now he knew that he had to take boxing really seriously. He would step into the ring to face Fel Clemente, knocking him out in the 5th. His last fight on the come out, he would meet a man who he would encounter many more times than he expected, Rafael Boza Limón. He chose to fight Limón to be back into title fights and redeem himself. This, however, would be a very different outcome than he would expect. Rafael Limón has started his 1975 campaign by fighting 8 times within this year, amassing a record of 20 wins, 16 coming by way of knockout, 7 losses and 1 draw. Limón would be selected to fight Chacon as a tune-up fight, but Limón took this opportunity to have a big name to set his claim as a true super featherweight threat. Bobby Chacon came in as a betting favorite, as he was expected to defeat the little-known Limón. Chacon came in at 129 3/4 pounds, just shy of the super featherweight limit, and the underdog Rafael Limón would come in at 129 1/4 pounds. This fight would be a barn burner, and the underdog Limón made it a tough affair for Bobby Chacon, who didn't expect it to be this hard of a bout. Limon's body style mixed with his counterpunching allowed him to secure a 10-round unanimous decision. This would be far from their last encounter. The record of the two would be Bobby Chacon with 28 wins, 25 coming by KO and 3 losses, and Rafael Limón with 21 wins, 16 coming by knockout, 7 losses and 1 draw. In 1976, the Ferocious forward experienced a relatively slow year, as Chacon would fight 5 times with 4 knockouts, advancing his record to 33 wins, 29 coming by way of knockout and 3 losses, while Rafael Limón gained acclaim by facing former NABF title holder Lionel Rosé, knocking him out in the 3rd round.
30 combates como profesional. Maneja bien la derecha sobre las cejas de Lionel Rose. En el terreno corto, castigándose de parte y parte, la derecha bien, un directo al estómago. Se enconcha Bazooka, se protege bien Lionel. Recibe con ambas manos, castigando fuertemente a Bazooka. Bazooka. La derecha fue la que causó los... Derechazo nuevamente de Bazooka. Sin embargo, responde ya muy bravo. Lionel Rose casi cae la lona, pero está con la derecha. Bazooka, derechazo nuevamente. La derecha, a pesar de que es zurdo, la derecha es la que ha causado los estragos. Bloquea bien y se agacha un poco Rose. Creo que la australiana está derrotada, amigos, pero tiene mucha casta este aborigen. Lionel Rose, pero no puede evitar 1, 2 golpes, 3 golpes a la cabeza que le conecta Bazooka, y ahora manejando bien. Por piernas se sale, se arrima las cuerdas, le pica con la derecha, se acomoda Limón, lanza las 2 manos a la cabeza de Lionel. Lionel mueve la cintura, en contragolpe mete bien la derecha y también a izquierda a Bazooka, pero Bazooka muy tranquilito, asimila bien el castigo, lanza a la izquierda esta vez y hace más daños aún en el físico de Lionel Rose. Va a caer nuevamente a la lona. Ahí está de rodillas Lionel Rose y termina la pelea. George Blanca se apiada de Lionel Rose y Bazooka Limón logra una victoria contundente. 3 caídas, la victoria para Rafael Bazooka Limón.
Limón had 8 fights in total, securing 8 wins, 5 coming by way of knockout. His record at the end of the year stood at 29 wins, 21 coming by way of knockout, 7 losses and 1 draw. Rolando Navarrete, however, after losing his bantamweight title, would begin to rebuild himself, participating in certain fights, winning 6 of them, 5 coming by way of knockout and suffering 1 loss. His record would come at the end of the year as 20 wins, 12 KOs, 3 losses and 2 draws. The final member of the Ferocious Four, Cornelius Boza Edwards, made his debut, fighting twice in 1976 and securing victories in both matches, both by knockout. Boza Edwards would end his year with a record of 2 wins and 2 coming by way of knockout. In 1977, Chacon was trying to revive his career after his losses to Ruben Oliveras and Rafael Limón. He would go to the lightweight division, winning 4 fights in a row by stoppages. This would lead him to meet former champion and longtime antagonist to Chacon, Ruben Oliveras. This was going to be their 3rd encounter, and Chacon made sure to not slip up again. But although Oliveras was past his best, he did make this fight an easy one. Chacon was able to secure a knockdown in the 2nd round with a good combination and focusing on taking away Oliveras' legs by destroying the body. This would lead him to drop Olivares in the 5th round and finally win a 12-round unanimous decision to end his nightmare of Ruben Olivares. He would fight one more time in 1977 but lose a close split decision to Arturo Leon, ending his year with a record of 38 wins, 33 KOs, and 4 losses. Rafael Limón would fight 8 times, racking up 6 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw, ending with a record of 35 wins, 25 coming by way of knockout, 8 losses, and 2 draws. Rolando Navarrete would have a more active year, starting with a 10-round unanimous decision win over Mario Ordayas and get a shot at the vacant OPBF title against Young Shook Kim, where he would lose a close and narrow split decision. Navarrete's career would go into limbo, losing 2 more fights and winning a points decision over Rick Quaigano, ending the year with a record of 22 wins, 12 KOs, 6 losses, and 1 draw. Cornelius Boza Edwards would make up for not achieving Olympic success by fighting 10 times this year, achieving 9 wins, 8 coming by KO, and only losing once due to a stoppage over a cut on his left eyebrow. He'd end this year with a record of 11 wins, 10 coming by knockout, and 1 loss.